that because of for the second option, we didn't add in the surplus? Is that maybe where he's getting that from? You know what I'm saying?
I honestly don't know.
So, and again, I don't know if this is what you're, noticing. When Janet first gave me the information, it came out to, and again, I don't have it written down in front of me, but let's say it was 26 and some change, 27 some change, I think is what it was. And I said, well, let's round it up to $3,000 per unit to give us a surplus. So I don't know if you add that times, if that is where the difference is.
Yeah, I did with 3,000.
I'm not
So
sure.
if we were given two different
Oh,
options,
okay.
all I want to say is, then let's take the cheap one. Make the assessment of $1,600 and our monthly goes up to $609, that's fine. Every owner will pay about $8,900 this year, including the special assessment. If we take the other option, we'll spend over $10,000 per owner this year alone. So if that's, my take, since the numbers are the same, let's just get assessed to $1,600, okay? Our monthly goes up to $609. But over the course of this year, we'll save $1,100 each.
Well, yes and no, because then we're going to do a second special assessment for the next $18,000. We're approving tonight 15. I'll have to add up how much.
And I get it. I do
spending that is not your money.
I do want to pass the budget on with you. I'm just saying, and I'm trying not to make this confusing, but the numbers we were presented have now changed. So
No, they did not change. They're right back where
But
they
we
were.
were presented two different options. You said one was a different option.
We are right back where we were. That was before we remembered. Remember, I picked up my papers and I added up and I said, you've got another 15 to 18.
So that
bank
other
account is in the
$18,000
negative,
that other
so-
$18,000 coming later on top of this $3,000 assessment, we're going to get hit.
No, because Megan added a little bit in there, so that's going to cover this. We're not going to have to.
I purposely added to give us a buffer to avoid getting another special assessment
Right.
within the next.
Okay, so that's the difference in $1,100. So we're just kind of planning in advance for an assessment. that
Exactly.
We're done.
I-
We're done. Move on.
I've had it.
3 minutes.
I've had it
Let's
a
go.
little bit,
Come on,
so-
let's
All right,
go.
thanks.
Let's go.
All right.
All right,
Move on.
so we're at 633 for ours. We're doing a $3,000 assessment for January, February, and March to repay what we owe, which what we owe again is 63. Is that what, correct? 834.
63, 834, and you're special assessing for 72.
And we were doing that so that we could put a surplus in for some leeway in case something happened. Because as of right now, we don't have any bills, thank God. So our assessment is at 633. The only thing I was wondering is if we did the $3,000 assessment January, February, March, and then we did an $1,000 assessment to come in June, what would our HOAs be, and can we lower that?
Okay, so if I do that, so 72,000 in the one assessment, and then how many units do you have? You have 24?
24.
So 72 and another 24. All right. Yeah, I do, I just don't want to take a chance and do it wrong. Okay, so that would bring you down, that would actually lower it, so it's now down to 549. And you'd have to do that 1,000 later on in the year.
I want to do that.
Why don't we just keep it what it is and have a little surplus?
We have to either way. Why don't we do that then? That's a good plan. And you're here, mine in our cluster.
Keep it what it is for.
Yeah, our HOA right now is 554. Keep it the same and just do the $3,000 assessment January, February, and March, and the other assessment in June, and keep my HOA at the same. Because that's a little more attractive to owners, that we didn't raise it, and we stay where we are, and we're building our accounts. What do you think?
72,000 here. You said bring it to 96. Bring it to 96 is 554, so what, wait, do you want the cents, or do you want it rounded?
No, 554 is fine.
All right, so 554 minus 5. You're talking $5, 24 units, so you just need to put another 120 somewhere, just throw it in building repair.
Yep. We need that.
Wait, that's not right, 120 times 12.
Well, the screwdriver is gone.
All right, so you're leaving it at 554.
Right.
And you're doing the $3,000 special assessment, and then you do a 1,000 later. You can't pass that tonight
Okay.
because it's not on the agenda, but we can make a note for another
Okay.
board meeting in the future.
All right.
How much would it be a month?
554 would stay the same, yeah. I don't think, is anybody else here from cluster 4 or 3? Emily, did you have any questions?
It all comes out to the same, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I just,
wouldn't-
but,
Wouldn't you rather have the monthly lower?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's all the same money coming somewhere.
Right.
We're negative, it's the same thing, we don't have an itemized receipt, it's fine. So there's really no choice
right,
at the end of the day.
It's all just to recoup
Which
on
is
funds,
crazy.
correct?
exactly,
Yeah, that's where it's
exactly
at.
that. Yep.
The money was mismanaged and we're paying for it. I
We
understand.
just didn't have the money, you know, like you guys know, as the painting came about, that stucco just fell off like butter. We had so many repairs that needed to be done. I mean, you guys know you had leaks because the stucco was cracking and it needed to be repaired. It's ruining your unit, it ruined your bedroom and everything, so we had to take care of that, and that's where we got dug deeper in the hole. But right now, hopefully our stucco and everything is up to par with the new paint, we're kinda level right now.
If, and this is the plus to those reserve studies, had the reserve studies been done regularly, even if you go to like every 5 years to get it updated. And by the way, if you keep using the same company, they don't charge you as much to do a full one from scratch.
Right.
They just update it. But if you keep it up and keep them fully funded, you would not run into these issues. It would pretty much be a catastrophe. You would have had the money you needed in your building repairs, et cetera, to do what's happened this year.
Right.
And thank God we didn't have any more hurricanes this year.
Anything more on cluster 3?
I think I'm good. You good?
We're already almost 2 hours in.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
Cluster 4, Michael?
Nothing to say?
Nothing to say? Anybody from cluster 4 have any comments?
I just have a quick question, just between cluster 4 budget and master budget, and just a clarification. Water, sewer, trash, it's on both cluster 4 budget and the master. Can you tell me what goes with where? I understand, I'm assuming our sprinklers go on ours for water?
No, I think yours is, it's the building usage, isn't it? On your individual ones, it's the building usage. On the master, it's the clubhouse, the sprinkler, et cetera, yeah.
And then the
But
trash.
it's our sprinkler. I think you mean plus
Yeah.
4 sprinklers.
You have your own?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We have our own meters.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, how about that?
Yep.
So it's really not trash for us, it's just a
It's not just
category of it.
trash.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
All right, that's it, moving on.
All right. 5, I got nothing to change on 5 unless anybody from cluster 5 is here and is, HOA went up $1. And I don't think there's any big repairs unless,
Don't change your stuff.
yeah. Okay?
I have a question.
For-
So,
are you
for
talking-
5, yes.
For 5?
Do you know who did our screens that we were mandatory had to replace? Because whoever did them did not do ours correctly and they literally just taped it to the wall.
What
So-
screen, what screen?
Our screened in Lanai,
What,
wait, what? I'm sorry.
what unit are you?
We are unit 5964.
Okay.
But
Let's-
it's like literally bunched together in like tape or something, and we're getting wasps inside of our lanai now.
Do you do that? Screens and all that is the owner.
No, it's owner responsibility, but if you, but Charlie may have, if your screens were bad and you refused, you probably got letters, or I don't know how long you've been living there. You may have gotten letters to replace your screens.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, then as the HOA or as a director, we will hire a contractor and whatever that cost is gets tagged on to.
Okay, Cause we were told by some neighbors, oh, this person's coming, so I don't know if it was by you guys or by anybody else, if we could just have that information so they can come fix it at no cost, cause we will not be paying for it to get fixed.
Did you pay like $160
Yeah.
to have the
Yeah.
whole thing done?
Yeah,
They did horrible.
yeah.
But did-
Yeah.
They ruined the railing, everything.
Yeah, they ruined our railing, it's coming off the wall now.
You do
But-
have it?
But did you guys hire them?
No, we did not, Charlie did.
Charlie.
Charlie hired them.
More money.
That's the
Well-
reason I gave you, and you could
I
never
didn't
reach
either.
the guy.
Not funny,
You
but
have
yes.
their
We'll get
address?
it-
We'll
we'll
look
get
into
it.
it.
Okay.
Thank you so
We'll look-
much.
We'll look into it.
Yes.
Can I ask a question about that?
No, I know.
What
What's
you
your
just said?
address?
Oh.
5964.
No, so, again, here's the thing, the owners are responsible for the screens. If they were sent letters and the association had to step in and repair something, we did that, right? Which we don't like to do, I don't know what
Right.
Charlie was doing, I wasn't
I
involved in
don't.
that.
Actually,
And,
when
and
was
we
that
give
done?
you the vendor
He's been
information
over
and you.
Less than a year ago,
Day
I would
he
say.
became director.
Yeah, I have to go back and look.
It wasn't like just the past couple months or past month or so.
Time flies by for me, so I couldn't.
And he
Was
did
it in the
without
past
their
month?
consent?
No, not within the past month.
Okay, all right.
No,
I would say within the last 6 months.
But they ruined our railing and our wall,
This
and
is how much it's gonna cost.
we're not
and
paying
buy
for
one
that.
cat.
That is not our
Right,
fault.
right, no.
And, so the ones that chose, and I don't know if it was all of them or not, but the ones who chose, they have those screens repaired, is what they're referring to. But it was something that he had the owner's name.
Okay.
I have also got the owner's name somewhere.
Me and Janet will
Okay.
discuss that,
Yeah,
and
I'll
we'll
figure it out.
get some kind of a
Okay, I
resolution.
just wanted to bring it to your attention.
All right,
Thank you.
any other questions on budget wise?
Make sure I
All right,
6.
moving on, Edna.
No problem.
Okay,
And leave it as it is. I think I can leave
okay.
Oh, Blaine and Mamet, that's you guys?
What?
Blaine and Mamet?
No.
5964.
Yeah.
Is there anybody from cluster 6 that has questions or comments?
I do have your email.
Okay, no?
No, and I didn't get
Okay,
any comments or complaints about it.
all right, moving on. Master. I funded a little bit here and there for, some replacements of some trees or bushes, whatever. I left it pretty much the same, just simply waiting for the, reserve study. I didn't, and not that it's appropriate or not appropriate, I didn't touch on it in my president's report. I had one last meeting with the county on the land for 59th. They are taking, on 59th, they are taking the hedges. He gave me a number, I'm not disclosing that number because it's going to change. And supposedly the project is probably getting pushed back a year or two, but hopefully that money in selling that land will inject some good money into our community. So, outside of that, anybody else have any other questions on the master?
I just have a question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
What does the CPA do? Just curious.
Compilation, review, or audit. I think you're at the compilation level.
Janet, back in
You're an
January
auditor.
or February when I was working on I actually ordered, because this is the year it's supposed to be done. And I'm wondering if it has that.
For 2022,
Well, it will be for, what is it, the last 3 years, since it was done last.
no, you would do it at the end of your fiscal year. So
So
it's
it was
budgeted,
like End of this year?
yeah. So, right, but you won't get it till like February, March.
Okay, I was just wondering if it had any, if you know, it's August, okay.
No, but we did budget for it this year. We didn't do it, what'd you get last year from the CPA?
I don't know.
I need a motion to adopt the budget.
Okay, is there anything else for
Because when
The master,
the attorney, that $11,000, is that the one that's in reference to the bylaws that are being?
to the
redone?
rewrite of the documents,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought. And payroll, 15,000.
That's for,
The maintenance.
Abraham.
Thank you.
Question. Management fees went up by over 25%. What constitutes a 25% increase in what we're paying CMS?
Actually, I didn't set the management, fees. What I did was tell my bosses, give them an update on what's going on within the community and what I'm dealing with on a daily basis, and they set that figure. So.
Can we get a breakdown of what that's actually paid for? Because that's a pretty significant jump, all things considered.
Well, not the increase, I couldn't tell you what the increase exactly is, but I can tell you what we do. We do all of your estoppels when someone is wanting to purchase. We do process all of your applications when they come in. We process every single payment that everybody sends to the bank. We process every single check you pay to your vendor, which, by the way, just so you have an idea, on how many do you approve, Edna? On a 2-week basis, every 2 weeks, how many do you approve? It's a lot. It's more than any other association we manage, ever, anywhere, no matter how many parts they have. It's all the emails, it's the parking, it's all the phone calls, it's the budget prep, the agenda prep, the minutes. It's all that we do for you at all times.
Handling all the vendors.
Included in all of that. Yeah.
And when is the last time there was an increase prior to this?
That I'd have to look at because, oh wait, hang on, I know where I can look. Because Shanna had, it was Shanna, right? All right, let me see. Shanna must have put in an increase last year. It looks like she's built in an increase, so it was, 2018, it was 1977. And it looks like she's going up.
It's a pretty substantial increase for us to swallow, given some of the rhetoric. It's a lot of money.
Well, everything's a lot of
I
fun.
get that, but it's a lot of money when we may feel like we're a bunch of morons asking questions that we have no right to ask. So we have every right to wonder what's constituting that increase, because from what I understand, CNS was not doing a lot of that work before, even though they were contracted to do it. And now you guys are actually doing the work that you've been contracted for all along, and now we're getting the increase. So we're
I'm gonna
questioning,
answer
owners
that,
are
Lauren.
questioning it.
Okay, first off, we've always been doing all that work, and if we weren't doing it, I don't know who you think was. We've been doing all that financial, all that estoppel, all that background. The only thing that you have added onto my plate is the parking.
And the work
Everything
order
else
stuff.
was done.
Prior to that, the directors were doing a lot of the work order stuff, and they were finding contractors and all that, and you agreed to take that to work on, which is obviously increased your workload.
You mean to get the vendors? No, and I'm answering your question. Let me answer the question. So, I don't feel that's part of our job, so if they were doing it before and we're taking it on now, like I haven't noticed, I'll just do it. That doesn't bother me. The parking is an additional, that's a big pain in the butt, but that's just my thoughts on this. That's not, I do it.
I agree.
So, as far as, wait, what, I can't remember the beginning part of the question, why it has gone, oh, you said you can't ask questions. So, part of my job, and I hope that everyone understands this, I'm from the Northeast, and I know I'm abrasive, and I'm tired of getting yelled at every time I come to a Public Springs meeting. So I do want to say this tonight, thank you all so much, everybody who's here, even when you disagree with me, for being respectful, because I do appreciate that very much. What's that?
We've had a calm meeting for a change.
Yes, I know we screaming at you, Janet,
Yeah,
and
that was pretty
at the
bad,
top of their
that's,
lungs.
that stopped, that was good.
So, part of my job is to be a buffer for the board and answer a lot of your questions. And Nancy, I did say to you, I wish you all would get a good understanding and step up and answer them yourselves if we're going to answer questions. I don't want to be the bad guy all the time. It is my job to kind of be a buffer. But, it is also, it's supposed to be a 1-hour board meeting. That's what we're contracted for. I don't mind staying until we get done, and if you all remember from last year, the budget meeting, it really ran over, and Charlie was upset, I don't remember who else was, and I was like, when it's people's money, they need the time. I don't mind doing it, and I'll come to 2-hour board meetings, that's part of our contract, I will stay. But, this is not the place for, it's not a Q&A. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a matter of teaching the owners how to do it properly. It doesn't mean you're dumb, and it might be board members that are telling you the wrong way. It just means it's got to, this is not a town hall. This is a board meeting to conduct the business, and your comments are supposed to be 3 minutes commenting on what you just heard the board discuss before they vote. And it's not. It turns into a Q&A and it goes really long. So that is where, and if you're made to feel like you don't know what you're talking about, or I can't remember what word you used, and I don't want to say the wrong word, but that's not the intent. The intent is to teach you to do it right. If this is how the board wants to run their board meetings with the Q&A and the going back and forth, I'll shut the hell up. I'll shut the heck up. Sorry. You have all, as a board, told me that this is what you want me to do, and this is how you want it run. So I end up being the bad guy. If they don't want it run this way, then I'll shut up and sit back and we'll answer questions all night.
I think the frustration
It doesn't matter.
is that you told us the only time we can have these conversations is at the annual meeting when the budget has been decided. This board, with the exception of Megan, I don't know about you, Michael, I know about Cluster 1, does not have conversations with their owners to say what's going on and what, so there needs to be discussions with the owners about what's happening in the budget, why the money's being spent the way it's being spent, because we're all sitting, one second, we're all sitting here and we're asking, well, why did we spend $11,000 to redo our documents when the meat of the documents is not changing and we are in financial distress? That seems like $11,000 that could have gone to something much more important than what it was spent on. That is our money that is being spent on something that most of us think is frivolous, considering what financial situation we are in as a community. And you say, we've got a contract. Well, you know what? Cancel it.
You can't cancel it. I'm going to answer that because the board voted on this collectively. These are your representatives, right?
Yeah.
They speak for you, they voted on it, and believe it or not, the work is done. The attorney's offer, remember, was to do the work now, and we could fund it in the next year because we didn't have it. Do you remember that meeting? And that was the choice that the board made. So I mean, you can tell him you don't want it, but I think you're going to have trouble with the attorney if you do that.
And this is,
concerning that there are a lot of very significant financial decisions that are being made, and we're just supposed to say, the board were elected by us. Well, let's be real, they weren't all elected by us. And there should be some answering to this community about what's happening with the money. I'll be honest with you, Janet, the website, CMS website sucks. It is one of the worst user-facing websites I've ever used.
It's not a user-friendly. It's
awful.
not to make you happy. It's to put
It's awful.
the
And so
automatic
it's
in your
hard
hand.
when you tell us we've got to go to the website, and I know that website is terrible, and it makes no sense.
Then just email me and ask for
But
what you
I mean,
need.
the thing is when you look at the financials, it's really confusing. And so you can't continually get the same questions from us over and over again. You only have to say, directors, why aren't you meeting with the people?
you have to.
Just a second, please, I'm trying.
Hold on.
I'm trying.
No,
You're way past.
you're way past 3 minutes,
Whatever.
okay?
Seriously.
No,
You never
seriously.
wanted
Just keep
answers.
calm.
You have to understand, we're doing the best job. You know how much I get for this? You know how much money? Nothing.
Step down.
Nothing.
Okay,
Nothing.
okay, calm down.
And at the end of the day, we're trying to fix years and years and years of mismanaged and neglect. And you know what? Everybody, absolutely. When I moved in 2 years ago and my HOA fee was what? $3.99, $2.99, whatever it was. Ooh, that was awesome. But then coming to the realization that nothing was getting fixed, nothing was getting taken care of. Our documents, you can't even read them. We can't even update our documents to change rules and regulations and things that should be done because our documents are, they should have been done 20 years ago. We're trying our best to fix what needs to be fixed. And there's certain steps that go along with that.
And I want to say something to Laura, but I want other owners to hear it. Is this being recorded? Where's Judy's supposed to?
Yes, it is.
It's recorded.
He's not here today.
So, because I want the owners to
Oh,
hear
I
it.
Mother, he's right there.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's
Oh,
here.
I didn't
You
realize-
can't see his
I thought I
reaction.
wasn't here.
Look into the can of.
I didn't realize.
I
Oh
want
my
the
gosh.
owners to hear it.
I'm sorry, Jim.
Because Laura brought up a good point. So, last year, do you remember the budget meeting when everybody was so mad?
Yes.
Do you know in that year, how many people have reached out to me for financial information that wasn't a board member? Judy Mack. That's it. No one cared all year what the board was doing. They're doing their best to pay the bills, to report on it every month, to put the financials out there. If you can't find them on the website, email Janet, to do the best job that they can, and until it's time for the next budget, and now everybody's all fired up and we can't get the information, we literally, and again, I'm not trying to make people feel stupid or anything like that, I'm saying the reality of it is, no one asked in 365 days, past that, we're past that, because we adopted in October last year. No one. I mean, we're happy to answer the questions and explain it, if they come out in a timely fashion. They can't all wait until one meeting when it's time to order the coupons after the board has already done the work and all we need to do is adopt it. They cannot.
I guess on those lines, I understand your concern from that. I think our concern would be, or maybe a way of looking at it is, from the board's standpoint and from your standpoint, about a proactive flow of information. Because a lot of stuff's happening during the year. A lot of money's being spent, obviously. Our particular cluster evidently spent quite a bit of money and is in the process of maybe spending more. We don't know that. And I would just suggest that you don't want meetings like this, proactively get the information out and signal to us and say, hey, we're way over budget, so we know, and we can begin those, then we will be in a better position to ask you proper questions and get those conversations going so it isn't a big shock and surprise to us. I realize, because what you're describing is one individual, me, somebody else, could ask you questions. But let's say I asked you questions and you do answer and provide information. Well, you've then informed one person. And if I don't have a Mr. Talkative, then, well, one person knows. But really, everybody needs to know. And this is the thing for the board, and not just you. Our board has to be communicating to us specifically in these kind of times, because we can already see how this year's going, and we can see how future years are probably going to go. If you're going to talk to this person about looking at our reserves, and if they give us, they say, yeah, great, here's what you need to do. These HOA fees are not going down, and there's going to be a lot of information that's got to get flowed to us so we don't get really disappointed about the direction of stuff and surprised. That's what I'm going to say.
All right, thank you.
I have one other question for her in regard to that increase.
Her, me?
Janet, in regard to the increase on your fees, you said that you pulled together the ESOP and what the correct that much everything.
Oh, it's just trying to answer all the
But you
stuff.
were paid for that.
Hmm?
ESOP, we paid,
The estoppel?
three something to get it. Don't you guys get that money?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're paid for that, that shouldn't be included in part of that
She's
percentage.
just saying everything they do.
Listen, I, as you know, after that last meeting, I was ready to say go find new management. I've suggested it to you. I've said I'll make it as painless as possible. I think you should go shopping. I personally asked you know, what can I do? Because I'm tired of being beat up
Okay.
because I'm going above and beyond.
I understand that.
What I'm not telling Laura, because you're not paying me for it, okay, what I'm not answering is the 7 hours I spend on the phone on a weekend with board members because they're arguing, they're fighting, or they have questions. Evening hours when they're arguing, fighting, or have questions. It's any of them, it's collectively, except Edna, you never call me. It's all board members, and I don't want to say it's not legitimate stuff. I'm just saying, there's a whole lot going on, and I personally am spending so many hours on Pebble Springs. Today, I'll do today.
Yeah, do today.
And this is without, and that's because I haven't been able to answer any. This is without anything that came in since I walked out of the office to come here at 4 o'clock. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, I gotta look at the time on these, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. I have 32 emails from Pebble Springs that I've gotta get back to and do. And they're owner questions.
And just a side note, that increase is only a little over $3.50 per person per month.
Per month. I understand that.
It's minimal for the amount of work they, I'm just saying, everything that you mentioned.
I'm not trying to defend
No,
myself.
I'm supporting
I fully admit that I am exhausted and my temperament is.
No, but it was asked.
And I think people are with us too. I don't know what
It
else
was
to
asked.
do. I'm doing as much as I can, as much hours as I
It was like,
can.
and let's
as
face it,
often
it's
as I can.
2023, what hasn't went up? What hasn't
Everything goes
increased?
up. We were not talking about that Friday.
Absolutely.
Everything
Just
goes
my
up.
take is, and I'll just, I
It's
mean,
insane.
again, from the newbie here, that's just, you know, learning and taking it all in. I will say that my opinion is, it's not so much, I mean, I do believe that Janet's doing as much as she can, she's only one person. I think it's more of, and again, we need to find a way to communicate more effectively as a board so that we can also disseminate the information out to our respective clusters. It makes it difficult because of that, how I had mentioned about how it's really 6 different clusters, you know, that makes it difficult. That makes it difficult because, oh, I'm sorry, as much as I understand that this isn't supposed to be a Q&A, when is the opportunity for us to talk and stuff, so I guess that's
And
what
that's,
we're here to do.
once a year is
Maybe the owner should come to us, instead of going to Janet, come to us and say, okay, so, or even, I mean, I don't mind doing it, but like, I know everybody's schedule's different, but like, okay, our pool light's broken, it's gonna be $100, guys, this month. Well, they just put everybody on a quick email, just to keep them updated with what's going on. Maybe that'll eliminate some of.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about doing like a, you know, cluster 2 Facebook page, I've heard there used to be one in the past, but I'm all about communication, but again, I think, I'm just trying to kind of, understand that it's not all Janet here, you know.
I
it's
don't
a
mind the
collective.
workload.
No,
I am
no, it's not that, I'm
complaining about the
saying,
workload.
as a
I'm
board
tired of
member-
being beat up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. As board member, my, like, I think the issue is, there's a lot of unknowns and a lot of, at least for my part, inability to try to get questions answered, as well as making progress, because the only opportunity I have to.
23 emails, and they're all gonna get answered.
Oh, I'm not saying.
No, I'm saying,
Yeah, yeah.
when people ask, I answer.
Yeah.
They get their
Can I
answer.
ask you another question? You say you're going to be, and I understand that. Who's beating you up? Is it the board? Is it the owners? Because they don't have the right to do that. Nobody has the
Look,
right to do that.
she gets beat up here in this
Yeah.
room, is
My-
where she gets beat up.
Yeah, my honest answer is, in all honesty, I need my board members to work cohesively. I need my board members to understand exactly what we're voting on or ask questions before they walk into this meeting. And I need my board members to answer some of their owners correctly. I shouldn't have to step in and do it like I run the place, because there are owners who think that Janet runs Pebble Springs instead of the other way
I
around.
understand that.
Exactly. And it shouldn't be, and that should not
We
be the
rarely
opportunity.
have, we rarely have the opportunity to open the floor, because we don't get to that, people just bombard, they come up with questions and they interrupt, and we don't even open the floor, because, I mean, we're forced to take that question right then.
Mhm.
if we could have a meeting and then take our questions.
Yeah.
Can we all the time?
Yeah.
This whole conversation is again, because one owner asked a question and we're doing a Q&A, and we're going back and forth and trying to figure it
If
out.
we
All right.
could finish
This
our
is not the
business
place
and
So-
then take all the questions and answer and
Can-
talk, and
can
I
we-
think that'd be awesome.
Move on.
Can we
Yes.
make a motion to adopt the 2024 operating budget?
Robin?
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Did you say opposed?
I thought we still had to wait to get the final numbers to, because they're, the thing's not adding up correctly.
That's correct.
We didn't
We're
make
adopting-
changes.
Okay.
We didn't make changes, you said leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone. And we're only adopting the,
This is just.
the proposed operating budget, right?
Right.
This one, yeah, okay, got it. Then I, then make sure.
All right, moving on, consideration of special assessment for clusters 2 and 3. And are we, what number are we at? Are we at the 16?
We didn't make any changes.
Okay, all right. Scratch that off. Of $3,000 due in increments of $1,000 each payable January, February, March of 2024 to cover the 2023 operating deficit, 2022 additional insurance funds due to the master, and the supplement of building repair line items. Cluster 3, cluster 2, you got any input, which we've hashed this out for the last
I'm good.
2 hours?
Need a motion.
All right. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I heard you, Megan.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Consideration of special assessment for cluster 1 of 507 per unit, due in increments of 169 each payable in January, February, March of 2024 to cover the 2022 additional insurance funds due to the master. Nancy, anything? No? All right.
Did you wanna say something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I apologize, do I have the floor? No, sir. Or do you want me to wait to the end with question Q&A? I can wait.
No,
till the
we're
end.
on this topic?
On
Yes,
this
yes,
specific
yes.
topic.
No, go ahead.
I just want to understand more. I apologize for not being on last. I work for the fire department, so I miss meetings. But I'm just trying to understand what exactly what this was for. Is this for the accident that occurred out there?
No.
No? Okay, I apologize.
This is for the insurance increase that happened last year,
Yes, sir.
and it was, you never paid it back.
So we borrowed.
You
we
deferred it,
Borrowed money.
you borrowed it from the master and you deferred it,
Okay.
and now, to make the financials correct.
Understood. I understand now.
It
Thank
needs
you.
to be paid.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Motion?
Motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, I'm gonna go over these in a lump sum. If anybody has any issues, mind you, this is work that's already been approved. If anybody has any issues with these, let me know and I will pull it out. I'm gonna try and do it, I thought I'd do it by cluster, get them apart. So cluster 4,
Thank you.
what'd you say?
Thank you. No, let's do mine first.
Okay, we're approving, the repair of the steps outside of 6342, the whole step, repair the staircase, rotted balusters, shore up the staircase, I'm sorry. Engineering, obtain a permit, the entire staircase being disposed of, rebuilt, $18,500.
All right, 18.5. And how much was the engineering and the permits?
Well, I have no idea. You didn't ask me for a breakdown, but Bill. I mean, not the portion, I mean, he said supply the engineering. There was more in there, I didn't read the rest. It was the build and the removal and the lumber and, you know. No. This one, right here.
Yeah, I get that, but that's unit 6342.
Yeah, it's not, it's labeled wrong, that's why I asked Michael, is that yours?
Okay.
It's not 63. Cluster 4.
Cluster 4.
Yeah.
And that was outside of, is that the one Paula's unit? So that wasn't.
Do you have a question as an owner or a board member? What are you looking at?
No, no. So does, you see where it says there, material
Yes.
and labor?
Yes.
Right?
There's
So is-
1800 and then there's 18,500.
So, the engineering and permits.
No. It wasn't for what they've already repaired outside of her unit, if it costs $18,000, this is for the whole entire staircase.
Right.
Like the whole thing.
Yes.
They only replaced the top tread, which I think was 7,200. This is outside of, is it the front unit?
They didn't do any work there yet.
Correct. So I think this proposal is wrong.
Why would it be wrong?
Because.
I don't think she approved it,
Did they?
because they haven't done the work yet.
Did they replace the entire?
We're approving it now.
No.
We're voting on it now. Yeah, we're voting on it now. Right? They didn't remove your staircase yet. They did. Completely removed it?
Yes.